Yes, Ms. Hassim.
Thanks, Chair. General, you testified before the T that all of the buck had died.
Sorry, Advocate Hassim, sorry to do this to you. Before we start, I thought there was an undertaking that the attorney's letter will be provided after tea.
I've received nothing. When we get it, we'll deal with it.
General, were you able to find the letter?
There is a document that we have from the lawyer, and then the one for the tender of May 24 tender document. Chairperson, I know I have it on one of my desks.
Oh, thank you. Perhaps, Ms. Hassim, let's just continue. Yes, and may it be shared over lunch, and let's continue. Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Chair, I have a letter dated 17 January 2024 that I could read into the record in the meantime. Where is it? Or they've asked them to print it.
Chair, I suggest we come back to that once we've received the letter. Sorry.
How long is the letter, General?
I think it's 1.5 pages. It's a lawyer's letter that accompanies the whole lease agreement and the May 24, I think it's a tender document.
Mr. Sim, it sounds like the letter that the general was testifying to.
Perhaps after reading 1.5 pages, maybe let's. Yes.
I'm in your hands.
Yes. Please read it, General.
What is the letter? They said they had to print it.
So you don't have a copy? Do you have a copy for yourself to read? Let's continue then. Let's continue. When you said you wanted to read it, I thought you have it in your hands. Let's continue then. And I think the best. No, let's leave it, please. Let's leave it.
Chair, I will engage with my colleague in the lunch journal.
Yes.
Get hard copies of it so we all have something in front of us to look at.
Yes.
That way we'd also be able to see better the addressee and all of those dates and yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll continue, General, then it will be revisited if necessary after lunch.
I will make sure that because I was suggesting that maybe they should drive home.
Yeah.
You put it on the table.
Yeah. Let's leave it for now. Thank you. Please continue, Mr. Sim.
Thanks, Chair. General, are you with me?
I am listening.
You testified before T that all of the buck had died by this point in time in 2024. Did I hear you correctly?
I didn't say all the bugs have died by 2024. I said they died gradually, and I was left with one.
Okay, all but one.
Yes.
Okay. And then you also said that when you received this message from Sergeant Nkosi saying from CAT, that you then told him not to deliver it. I mean, you've said two things. One, you said those are not wrong buck, you said. Impala is not what you're looking for, right? That was one thing. And the second thing you said was that you told him not to deliver it because you cannot accept anything from Mr. Matlala. And then you gave us an example of how you'd previously done that with another friend and a payment that was made into your bank account.
I've never said that.
Okay, can you explain what it is you said? I thought you said you told him no delivery because you can't accept from Mr. Matlala.
I think if I remember very well, Chair, what I said is that, number one, I realized that this is not what I wanted. Number two, if the message proceeds immediately, say from CAT, and it was about that because I don't have any devices. Over and above, I was not going to receive anything from the service provider.
So you would not have accepted it. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then let's just go back to the chats because we weren't complete there. And I'd like you to go to page 109. 109 in the same file, 7. And 109, same file. And it's chat number 5. And you'll see it's a screenshot. It's very small, but do you see what I'm referring to?
Yes.
If it looks any more legible, it went away. On the screen above you, you can have a look at the screen. But you see there that at 10:36 a.m., I think if we can just project it again. At 10:36 a.m., Mr. Matlala forwards a screenshot to Sergeant Nkosi. And let's just go to the screenshot. And you'll see that this is a screenshot of a conversation with one Rudy farm manager. Okay, so this is Mr. Matlala forwarding this screenshot, a conversation that he has with Mr. Rudy farm manager, forwards it to Sergeant Nkosi, and at the top of the message it says, "The green is Mr. Matlala." It says, "Please check your account again." And then he says, "Thank you, sir, I got it. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks, sir, we'll do that." And then there's a voice note. We don't have that voice note, but it's exactly the same length as the voice note that we played earlier. So it may be that's the voice note that Rudy farm manager sent to Mr. Matlala. It was also sent in the morning. It sort of tallies up with the time frame when Mr. Matlala then, when Sergeant Nkosi forwarded it to you. But if we go down, next thing is Mr. Matlala forwards to Rudy farm manager the address. So remember there was a request. Which address? Can you send me a pin where the Impalas must be delivered? And that is sent to this person, Rudy farm manager. Do you recognize that address? Can you see it on the pin? Oh, you'd have to, it's redacted.
Yes, I recognize it.
You've seen it. And is that your address?
I confirm it's my address.
Okay. And then...
is that the plot you've been talking about, or is that your residential address?
That's my residential address, Chair.
Thank you. So he then...
Perhaps, Mr. Sim, for our purposes in the record, you can refer us to where that communication is in the record. I think it says page 125 or 124.
Page 125. Oh, apologies.
You haven't done that.
I missed that entirely because I'm skipping electronically. The screenshot itself is at page 125. So he sends your address, and then he continues. He says, "Thanks, sir. Hi there, sir. Okay, everything has been arranged. He will catch the Impalas on Sunday and transport it on Monday to that location. Is it good?" And Mr. Matlala replies, "No problem." Okay. Now, this screenshot is sent, this address, rather, this screenshot, in the screenshot, you'll see the time frame. If I go back to page 109, it was sent to Sergeant Nkosi at 10:36. Okay? Now, if you had told Sergeant Nkosi no delivery, why would he have then still forwarded your address to Mr. Matlala?
You see, Chair, I think I indicated earlier that when they say send the pin drop to where the animal, the bugs, the impalas must be delivered, I did send it. I also said, but when I got a break or during lunch or whatever the case may be, I called Nkosi and I said, please make sure that it is not the impalas, because I don't need impalas. I can't keep them and they die. They can't live. They can't survive. I need a bug, a mate for this one. Now, the location was sent already. Now, whatever discussion Sergeant Nkosi had with Mr. Matlala, I never said to Sergeant Nkosi, please go source from Mr. Matlala. His promise to me was that he will help me get what I need. As to how he went about, quite honestly speaking, I feel that I should not be held responsible or accountable for a discussion between Nkosi or any other person he would have went to see and spoken to.
General, I need to take you then back to this timeline. You see, when, let's go back there so you can look at it again. When page 333, so this is now the chat between Sergeant Nkosi and you, page 333. Where he says, morning, it's from Cat. He sends that to you at 7:25. At 8:39, you make a phone call. At 10:36, we see that your address has been forwarded to the person who's going to deliver the Impala. So when you made the phone call at 8:39 to Sergeant Nkosi, you did not tell him, don't deliver it, regardless of whether they're the correct or they're not correct, because remember, that's a separate issue. You said nothing from Mr. Matlala. So at that point in time, you didn't say to him, who's Cat? And is that Mr. Matlala? Well, I can't accept from him. You didn't say that to him at 8:39 when you make the phone call. And we know you didn't say that to him because the address is sent to him where he should deliver it, and it's forwarded at 10:36.
I think we're rounding one in the same place, because I did say personally that when I spoke to Nkosi after I sent the location, and then later I got a chance to say, this is what you should know. And the fact that I didn't want the impalas, for me it was sufficient that I've addressed the problem. As to what happened beyond me, between Nkosi and the other one, is for Sergeant Nkosi to really explain.
To explain what?
General, your evidence is not just that you said to him you don't want the impalas. Your evidence is also that you said you don't want anything from a service provider. And you said something about when it comes to crossing the line, I hold back. But more directly, your evidence is, I spoke to him about the wrong animals. I don't want the wrong animals. But two, I don't want anything from a service provider.
I was not going to accept from a service provider.
You told him, that's what you say, you told him.
Yes.
And I understand Ms. Hassim to say, well, if you did tell him that you don't want anything from a service provider, how come you've sent a pin drop, but also your address. But importantly, Mr. Matlala is arranging for the same things to be at 10:36. Arrangements are being made to get this stuff delivered to your address. If you said to Mr. Nkosi, I don't want anything from a service provider.
Commissioner, I think at some point because there are technical aspects to this whole thing, such as, for an example, yes, I mentioned the ways that I was not going to accept anything from a service provider. And I don't remember expressly saying no. As he said, it is from CAD. I don't remember saying expressly to Nkosi that I don't want to accept it because it is from CAD. I've never said that. I said I was not going to. And then as a result, at the same time, I knew about crossing the lines. And then I knew the danger zone now. And then I knew that I had to now step back. And then how I stepped back, I didn't just say, hey, why did you contact Kat? Why did you do this? No, I just said, this is not what I need. And I left it at there. And then they were never delivered.
Please switch on the second mic, General.
My apologies, Chair.
No problem, no problem.
The heat is on here.
Thank you, General. I would like to say to you, before I even go further, and I am going further on this very point, but for now, I want to say to you that's not a plausible answer. Because when you had the conversation with Sergeant Nkosi, that was the time for you to say, what do you mean from CAT? And you are confirming to the Commission now that you did not ask him about Mr. Matlala when you spoke to him. You never raised the question with him about why is Mr. Matlala involved. You've just said that you didn't do that. You just, in your mind, you thought, I must step back.
It's very easy at this point in time to ask this type of a question and say, yeah, it's not possible, and why didn't you ask that? And there was no time for that. If I'm in a meeting and I said, I heard this message talking about the bugs and impalas, I don't need this. And I don't need many because I can't even afford them. So please let it not happen. And as a result, they were never delivered.
I'm going to get to the point of they were never delivered, but I just want to say that you had time to make a phone call to him at 8:39 a.m.
No.
Well, you did.
Well, when I say no, I say because I called him in intervals. You see, the problem is that with the South African Police Service, it's a kind of a situation where I'm not all the time sitting in the office alone doing your admin work. You are always somewhere in a meeting, executive meeting. We are all over and at this level with the ministers everywhere. So you will make a call when you get a chance. So to me, it was not even a priority. It was just a by the way issue because it was not a focused in that it's a project that they are looking for this for me. I never expected on that day because that he will get that message that says this because the last time I spoke to him about what I need and he knows that I've been wanting this and then at the time he then contacted me, it was off guard because I didn't expect at that money that I will get such a call. But what I might have said or not said to him at this present moment is probably too late for me to think now that I shouldn't have said or could have said. All I can say is that I didn't say that maybe, but I did indicate that I don't need impalas. And quite frankly speaking, Chair, the police have been to my house every now and then, including top management, including General Masamola himself and many others. I mean top management. They've never seen even one Impala. So I'm just saying it never happened.
Okay. Can we go to file 10C? And that's,
I don't know, maybe you are going to touch on this. If you are, please stop me.
I'm not
Mr.
done
Singh.
with this.
Oh, all right, all right. File
File 10C.
10C.
And it is it's CJC 81. It's the statement by General Sentumule. And you've already read the statement and seen the annexures, and so I'd like to take you to annexure HKS 12.
Ms. Hassim, I don't know, you may want to give a warning for those that are sensitive about images that you are projecting, if you are intending to project what I think is wrong too.
I'll do so. Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. I just want to first say to you, HKS 12, are you there? Are you there? HKS 12, annexure HKS 12.
I'm edit.
It's at page 60 of the statement.
Annex HKS 12. I'm on it. This one.
Correct. Okay. So before I ask Ms. Poe to project this, Chair, for the purposes of the viewing public, I just want to caution that if anyone is sensitive about seeing images of animals in distress, then they may wish to look away. Okay, so annexure HKS 12, you'll see that this is an exchange between you and General Sentumule that starts on 27 March 2024. If you look at that image, the first image, right at the top of the image, it has the date in white lettering. Do you see it?
Yes.
So that's 27 March 2024. Okay, there's a message to you. From you, and then there's a message from General Sentumule to you. She has you saved in her phone as my GSS. Okay, if you scroll down the page, you'll see, scroll down to the next page. This is just showing you the string of messages. She sends you a message saying, hallelujah, this is so heaven. And then you forward to her 2 images. Okay. And can you tell us what those are images of?
These are animals that I had in the plot, and as you see them, this is what I had in the plot, and this is what died, and this is what I accepted that I had already in the plot.
No, these are 2 different, these are 2 Impala. There's not one. It's not one, right? It's not the same Impala, right? Can you confirm that?
Confirm what, 2?
Yes.
I don't think the second one you can see what it is, but okay, these are 2 Impalas, yes.
Yes. And then you remember you said you only had 1 Blessbok.
No. Remember I said I had them. And then when I bought the property, I had different animals. And then at some point, I wanted to breed. It's in my statement. I just didn't go through my statement, but I wanted to see if I can breed them, because not far from where I live, there's somewhere where they're selling animals, meat, different kinds, but I wanted that part as well to see if I could go in them. And then we bought something like 4 or 6 of them of this type as well, but they didn't, they were dying gradually. And
Yes.
Yes.
But that was much earlier. By the time you were having the conversation with Sergeant Nkosi, you said that what you were looking for was one animal, right? And not Impala. That's
Yeah.
what you've told us.
Yes.
And that you did not accept delivery of any further animals
Yes.
at all.
Yes.
And that conversation you were having, you say, with Sergeant Nkosi around 21 March 2024. Okay? The date for delivery of the animals was 25 March, according to the screenshot that we were looking at page 125, where the farm manager said he will catch the impalas on Sunday and transport it on Monday to that location.
Yes.
Okay. So I can tell you that the Monday was 25 March 2024. These pictures that you are forwarding to General Sentimule is 27 March 2024. Okay. In which you are showing her two different Impala which have died. Okay?
Yes.
So that's not consistent with what you said, which is that you only had one animal, and that animal was a blessbok,
Yes.
and you did not accept delivery of any further Impala.
Yes. That's exactly what happened. Like, remember in my statement, I did indicate that I had these animals, and I mentioned different type of animals.
No, in your statement, you can go back there. If you want to take us to your statement and tell us exactly where, I'm happy to do that.
Paragraph 41 of your supplementary statement. Jen.
For the record, Commissioner, Chair, for the record, may I be allowed to read my statement, all of it? I mean, this was in relation to the so-called Impala controversy, to the latter, so that when I respond, because now I keep on responding out of the statement, and the next thing I come across a question. So let me rather do it that way, and then so that I can explain. But I did
Yes.
hear the question.
Please do so, General.
By way of introduction to this section, I deem it necessary to address the allegations that Impalas were acquired for me by Mr. Matlala. These allegations are incorrect. I accordingly set out the factual background to place the true position before the Commission. In 2017, during the period when I was employed by the COJ, I bought a small holding situated at Mnandi Agricultural Holding from my previous neighbor. The purchase included the existing livestock on the property, which comprised inter alia antelopes, blessbok, and emos. Emos is like ostriches. I am still presently residing at this property. Upon taking occupation of the property, my family and I commenced developing it and embarked on small-scale farming activities, including the sale of goats, sheep, chickens. To date, I still continue to sell eggs. And then I do have a garden as well. If you were to visit, you will see the garden where we plant some of these things. Over time, however, a significant number of animals died. The last of the antelope passed away in about November 2023. As matters presently stand, I only have one blessbok. I must say that the upkeep of the antelope proved to be financially burdensome, as they acquired substantial amount expenditure to feed, veterinary care, maintenance, following the reinstatement of subs in July 2022. I was no longer in financial position to sustain this cost. In addition, due to security concerns at this property, I ceased commencing farming operations in state
Commercial.
commercial farming operations and instead vested in the construction of a perimeter wall to enhance security. Given the lack of financial viability and the escalating costs, I made the decision to scale down by farming activities. I accordingly discontinued investment in antelope and reduced the number of goats and sheep, remaining primarily chickens, as well as the remaining emu and antelope at the time. Over time, the remaining antelope also died, save for one block, which is on the plot now. But the other ones is the one that died around about the same time that I'm talking about. So at a stage, the remaining blessed buck began to display unusual behavior, and I was advised that the animal was likely stressed and required a maid. I requested Sergeant Fanny Nkosi, who is acquainted with the property and its livestock, to assist me in sourcing a suitable female blessed buck or male, as he had indicated that he knew several individuals who farmed with bucks. Subsequently, he contacted me and informed me that he had managed to source an antelope for me. He requested that I send a location to the gentleman that was going to deliver the animals so that delivery arrangement could be made at the time. I was engaged in meetings, and without paying close attention to the precise wording of this message, I sent him a pin location to the property. Upon later reviewing the message, I noted that he had referred to an Impala, to Impalas. I had immediately contacted him to clarify that there is a distinction between a blessed buck and Impala, and that I specifically required a blessed buck, not Impala. Now, the purpose of acquiring the animals was to obtain a mate for the remaining blessed buck. I made it clear that I would also make payment upon delivery of the animal and after personally inspecting it to ensure that it was indeed a blessed buck and suitable condition. I expressly requested that Sergeant Nkosi ensure that the correct animal named blessed buck be delivered. He later indicated that he had been under the impression that I was seeking an Impala. As a result of this misunderstanding, no animal was delivered to my property. I categorically deny that I acquired and received any Impala from Matlala or from any other person for that matter. No animal was delivered to my plot pursuant to this discussion. In fact, the remaining blessed buck on my property has already died. In any event, I'm no longer in a financial position to maintain any animals, let alone required livestock. So now, there are some mistakes that I see, because when I say, in fact, the remaining blessed buck on my property has already died, because I still have one, and at that time, they died slowly, gradually. At that time, two had died. And that is why there was a shocker at that time. And the two just died again, because as you can see, it's a forwarded message. When the gardener sent and say, let's say a goat died or a sheep died, and take a picture and send. That's what happened. So that is what happened. Those were the remaining ones. It's just that you type, I write to maybe and my team also. What is the right word, as they write it, when they draft, and then this unfortunately a mistake, or I don't know, say it's a typo, but I still have one that is there now. I do not dispute that I communicated with General Sintumile regarding the antelope that had died. I don't dispute that part. It is also noteworthy that General Sintumile has only now, in a supplementary statement, raised the issue relating to an alleged observation of Mr. Matlala's at my residence, as well as the matter pertaining to the Impala. These are not peripheral issues. I don't want to get too deep into this. I wanted to just explain the issue of the Impala. I don't know if it's, or I must read it as a whole. Up to where it ends. Only
only what relates to the Impalas?
Yes.
Is there still more?
No, I think yes, I can settle with what I've read.
Thank you, General.
So you will end at paragraph 46. Is that
Yes.
okay? So, General, what you've read to us from your statement, I'd like to take you to paragraph 36. You say, over time, however, a significant number of the animals died. The last of the antelope passed away in or about November 2023. As matters presently stand, only one blessbok remains on the property. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that's consistent with what I was putting to you, is what you had said was that you only had one animal left, the blessbok, right?
Yes.
All of the others had died by November 2023.
Can I say something? Chair? If the commissioners remember, I did say that the guy that used to work for me, the Zimbabwean that used to work for me, at some point, I asked him to get me 4. And then we bought something like 4 or 6. He bought them. They were in my yard, but they gradually died. And I said, the last one that died is around these 2 that you see. That's the one that I sent. Now, the only problem is that I do know that...
That's not in your statement.
Yeah, I will take that as well, because as I was talking to my counsel, junior counsel, and said, could you read the doctor's handwriting? She said, "Oh, General, I struggled to read the handwriting, all of it." So the draft, I see it this morning now, but I understand, and I don't want to really put the blame on her, but as I was talking earlier, I did mention that I used to have a guy who was taking my kids to school, and then ask him to at least buy me 6 so that I can have a little bit of wild.
And when did he do that?
The timelines will be something that will hit me, but it's some months before or weeks before that date that we see there. And then they died gradually. That's when I could conclude that they can't live. They can't survive.
Weeks before November 2023 that you refer to in paragraph 36?
No.
Weeks before what?
I'm no longer not on November 2023. I say after that period. I see that my counsel did say the last one passed away in November 2023.
Sorry, General, it's not your counsel who said that. It's you. You've said you read the statement and you confirmed the correctness thereof.
No,
Nowhere in this statement
I
does
take
it
it.
talk about 4 other Impala that were bought, or at what time they were bought, when they were bought, and by whom.
I will read from my notes that I sent, because this is what I said, that I ended up also buying something like 4 of them over and above.
So it's just a coincidence that if we go back to HKS 12,
Is it a question?
just to go back to the annex to HKS 12. So you forward the 2 images. In fact, let's just scroll through for the sake of completeness for that rest of that message. You send it to General Sentimula. You say 2 died.
Yes.
She says, "Where is this, Jen?" You say, "My place." She says, "Haibo, Jen, are they yours? If yes, what killed them?" The manner of death seems odd. It's like their necks were broken. And then you respond, one was trying to run away and ran into the dam. Another was found dead this morning. And then she says, sorry, Jen, I just hope the kids are not traumatized. That's the end of that message. Now, you're saying that these two that died now in March 2024, it's just coincidence that it happens to be when Impala was meant to be delivered to your place. You're saying it's a coincidence.
Well, if it's a coincidence, unfortunately, there's not much I can say.
Is that what you are saying?
It's what I'm presenting.
There's another reason I want to take you somewhere else, still staying on the Impalas, because it's not just General Sentimule's evidence. There's also a recording, and it's not just what we have from Sergeant Nkosi.
May I just quickly raise an issue around paragraph 36 with the General? Yes. General, as you went along, you would correct anything that you felt did not correctly capture the true facts according to you. When you read paragraph 36 in your supplementary statement, you corrected nothing. It is only when you are being questioned by Ms. Hassim that you now suddenly say that there's something wrong with paragraph 36. Can you explain that?
Chair, I found myself in between the hard surface and hard rock in this sense. The statement is drafted by my legal team, of course. And then I have to read and correct what I have to read, to correct. So it was crafted until late last night. I only saw it this morning, of which I could have maybe corrected one or two things. So at this present moment, I couldn't correct anything because we all arrived here almost when we were called this now 2 minutes. So I haven't corrected anything.
I'm not talking about corrections that you would have made during the drafting process between you and your legal representatives. I'm talking about corrections that you would make here before us. A good few times you have said, what's said there is inaccurate and here's the true position. My point is, here at this commission, you read paragraph 36 of your supplementary statement and you went past it, no correction, no nothing, and you continue to paragraph 37. So I'm making a simple point. I'm saying, if you are in the habit of making corrections here at this commission, why is it that you did not correct the content of paragraph 36 and only sought to do so when Ms. Hassim was questioning you on the content of paragraph 36?
Chair, it's simply because of the fact that at some point orally, I did mention that I had this guy who was working for me. He was also a driver, and he did.
That's not in paragraph 36, is it? I'm talking about paragraph 36, General. Why did you not correct paragraph 36? I'm not asking you about what you might have said in a different context. You asked the commissioners to read from your statement, and I allowed you to do so. You read and went past 36 without any correction. So my question is about paragraph 36 and not about what you might have said in another context. So simple question, why did you not correct paragraph 36 as you read it?
Chair,
and why did you only do so when Ms. Hassim was taking you to task about the content of paragraph 36?
Chair, I never thought at that present moment that I should, because I was reading, but where I got stuck, where my attention was drawn, is when they said the last one died, and I know that I still have it. So to me, that one, he stood up, and then as he stood up and I stopped and I said, this is what I see. But that I had bought some. Even whether we're talking these animals, wild animals, or goats or sheep, they keep on dying, we keep on replacing. So I did buy.
Yes, Ms. Hassim.
Thank you. This is another inconsistency, though, with that, General, because you also went to some length to explain how your salary has dropped and that you're no longer in the business of animals and the feeding is costly and the space and all of that. Now you're saying that just coincidentally, just before March 2024, you acquired 4 more. Do you see the inconsistency?
Yes. Not, I don't say it's an inconsistency. I'm saying I hear what you're saying, but I want to explain that, look, to say that because they were expensive, to buy 4 more to be with these ones that I was buying, to me, it was not really such a big thing because it was not a big number that I needed.
I'm going to leave that at that point.
General, the other concern is that when the photos were first flighted, you said those are not Impala. Those are Blesbok or whatever. Now you're turning around and you say, actually, on the day, you still had at least 2 Impalas. Which is which?
I've really never said that these are not Impalas, Commissioner Kumar. Please, you can check what I said. I've never said that.
You never said that?
No.
So these are Impalas?
I think they are Impalas.
No, they are or they are not?
They are.
Yes.
General, can I? Yeah, I have a different difficulty. It is that in your statement, you don't mention, and it seems to be a deliberate choice on your part, you don't mention at all ever having impalas on your farm on this statement, the supplementary statement. You say antelopes, I'm looking at paragraph 34. You say antelopes, blesboks, and emus. That's what you have. That's what you tell us. And then you say over time, however, in paragraph 36, you then say a significant number died. The last of the antelope passed away on or about November 23. As matters presently stand, only 1 blesbok remains on the property. And then you carry on. You tell us about the lack of financial viability. I accordingly discontinued investment in antelope and reduced the number of goats and sheep, retaining primarily chickens, remaining emu and antelope at the time. So antelope again. Over time, the remaining antelope also died, save for 1 blesbok, which is still on the plot. And then you spoke to Sergeant Nkosi to assist me in sourcing a suitable female blesbok. Now, and then the next paragraph 40, and I won't read it, that's where you talk about the pin location to your property. Upon later reviewing the message, I noted that he had referred to an Impala. This is at paragraph 41. I immediately contacted him to clarify that there is a distinction between a blesbok and Impala, and that I specifically required a blesbok, not an Impala. Now, the point, and again in 43, I expressly requested Nkosi to ensure that the correct name, namely blesbok, be delivered. He later indicated that he had been under the impression that I was seeking an Impala. As a result of the misunderstanding, no animal was delivered to my property. The important part starts at paragraph 34, where you describe what was on your property. You say antelope, blesbok, and emus. You then go on to say the antelopes died, the emus died, the blesboks died, and I was left with only 1, the last of which died, and then the last died antelope died in November 2023. Nowhere do you mention having impalas on your property from the get-go, from when you bought the property. You don't mention I had impalas. You tell us antelopes, unless you're referring to impalas when you say antelopes, but you say antelopes, blesbok, and emus. So you don't mention impalas anywhere in your statement. The first time you say there were impalas on your farm is now in your oral evidence. You say to us that you earlier said your gardener had obtained for you impalas, but that's the first time, and it's quite curious and notable that your statement does not own up to having impalas on your property, and it comes out now in examination. And it comes up in examination after you've seen the pictures and you've seen the WhatsApp message that says one of them died today on the 27th of March. And it leads to the unavoidable conclusion that you always had impalas supplied before when you bought, and that's what you refer to when you say antelopes. Maybe you always had them. But then you tell us that the last died in November 2023. That is if I substitute antelope for impalas. Then the last one would have died in November 2023, and you didn't have any after that. Then there's that Rudy, Mr. Matlala, Sergeant Ngosi communication. And now we know that on the 27th of March, 2024, you did have impalas on your farm. Can you just make it make sense? Reconcile what I've put to you, your failure to mention impalas ever in your statements, telling us about antelopes, blesboks, and emus only, and what you are telling us now about owning impalas.
I think, Chair, I will respond to this question, but I wanted to ask Commissioner Baloy, when she asks a question and she lumps several paragraphs, I understand I'm not, in the seat where I'm sitting and I'm thinking of the response, and then I go in long paragraphs. You tend to forget some of the details that you want to include. But in short,
I just say that if in answering my question, you require a moment to go back to those paragraphs that I've referred to, because they speak to the same thing. I don't see why you would have difficulty seeing that they are connected to each other. But if you do, I think you would be given, the chair would allow you time. If you say, I need to look at each paragraph that Commissioner Baloy has referred to before I answer, you absolutely have that opportunity.
No, I'll respond.
Okay.
What I want to respond, Chair, is that we from where I'm sitting, I don't know if I'm allowed to say as a black person, I called at home, and everybody who comes, we call it a springbok. And it is not a springbok. Even sometimes where they are locked up and then it is out, then they will say the springbok is out. Then we run around looking for it. But all I'm saying is that the issues of the antelope, that started now coming now when we really had to respond here and say, is this or is this that? Is this, is this that? But after what I can say, Commissioner, where there are shortcomings in my statement, it might have been an oversight or a shortcoming, but I don't choose to respond like that because of the questions. Some of the greater details, these are the things that you never thought one day they will come up, and in such a way that you needed to keep proper record of what happened and when and what time, considering the fact that from where I'm sitting, I'm working from my memory. I don't even have anything, my gadget, I could not go anything. So I'm just saying, Commissioners, having to deal and be overburdened with ad hoc, madlanga, criminal, disciplinary, and where I'm sitting now today, where I'm sitting as we speak, I'm expected to submit my close-up arguments for my discipline today. My lawyers have been sitting with me. We've been working. We've been here throughout the week. At the same time, the police and other processes running that is actually looking forward to firing me that side. And I'm sitting here. So I'm just saying a lot has been happening in my life in such a way that I'm moving from this office to that office, from this office to that office, from this lawyer to that office. So there's a whole lot of things in my mind. So where there's oversight, where there's something that I missed, forgive me, but there's a bottom line that I just want to say to the chair and to the commissioners. I never received any impalas or any bags from Mr. Matlala or have them delivered to my place. So as to why this message and why this coincidence, I'll accept it as a coincidence. Thank you very much.
All right. General, I hear the difficulties that you have because of the many processes, but I still do require an answer to my question. So I'm going to pose it differently. We've seen the images of those, and I must say first with that I agree with you that for us Black people, as you say, there's a Springbok. Maybe somebody refers to it as an Impala. I know that my kids refer to it as a McDonald because of how much of it there is in the Kruger Park. But on a serious note, what I want to understand is where you refer to antelopes in your statement, are you referring to a Springbok or an Impala? What is an antelope? And keep in mind those images that you admit you had on your farm. Is that what you're referring to when you say antelopes? Those images, those animals that we see? I
used the word waterback, and then we had to look for the right word, antelope.
Yes. Okay.
And then all those words. So this one is the one that I know that they were bought because at some point where we I had a lady that normally when I want to buy ducks, chickens, egg laying, whatever to buy, she would tell me where to find. Now that lady, because I lost contact in all the phones and everything, she's the one actually who advised where we can get that. And then it happened that I see that they also selling 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
That's when I sent the driver there at some point to
okay.
buy.
General, my question though, in 34, you say we have antelopes, blesboks, and emus. You've explained to us what an emu is. You've described blesboks. You said the ones with horns. Now I'm asking again, when you say antelopes, are you referring to the animals, the kind of animal that we saw in the picture?
If you were to ask me what is an antelope and what is a blesbok, Chair, what is an antelope, what is a blesbok, what is
an emu?
I can't say this one is a blesbok, this one is this.
No, you can, General. You've described to us what an emu is. You said the one that looks like an ostrich. So let's strike that off. We know that when you say antelope, you're not referring to that one. You know that particular animal. So you've told us that. 2, you've described to us what you say is a blesbok. You said the animal with horns. Unless you tell us when you say blesbok, you mean that what which we saw in the picture. I don't think you do. Then it leaves us with antelopes. What you've called an antelope. Now, what I'm asking you is when you say antelopes in paragraph 34, are you referring to an animal that looks like, or that is the one we saw in those pictures? HKS 12. Is that, whatever other name it has, don't fixate on its many other names, or you actually don't quite know what its proper name is. My question is simple. When you say antelopes in your statement, are you referring to the animals that are in the picture that we saw?
I could be referring to that, Chair, because
Okay.
Blesbok is an Afrikaans name, I guess.
I'm going to take your answer to be yes. When I say antelopes, because of how you're answering, and I've repeated the question, and I must say, General, I think you understand the question, and I think you do have an answer. But I'm going to take it that your answer means that when you say antelopes, you refer to the kind of animal that is in those pictures. Now, on that basis, you then, in paragraph 36, if you would go to your statement, you then, in paragraph 36, and you now say, the last of the antelope passed away in November 2023. Given this discussion that we've had where you're not giving a straight answer about what is an antelope, and I've told you that I'm accepting your answer to be an antelope is what is in the picture, you say they died, the last died in November 2023. So you no longer have antelopes from November 2023 or beyond November 23. That's what you tell us. And then you say, I then started looking for a blesbok. You do know the difference. You know that a blesbok is on your own statement. You distinguish an antelope from a blesbok. You now no longer have antelopes. Mr. Matlala offers to get blesboks for you. Mr. I think it's Van der Merwe says they will be delivered. Mr. Matlala says to Mr. Van der Merwe, check your account, which means payment has gone through. They are to be
Sorry,
delivered.
Chair.
Yes.
I hear the Commissioner saying Mr. Matlala then offers.
Yes.
I don't remember saying Mr. Matlala offered to.
Mr. Matlala tells Sergeant Nkosi, sends Sergeant Nkosi a voice note about delivery of Impalas. You remember that WhatsApp exchange?
Okay.
Okay. And then we had another WhatsApp exchange that was put in a series that was put on the screen where the farm manager says they will be delivered. Right? You remember that WhatsApp exchange? Thank you. So, I don't want us to lose track of the facts that are emerging from your statement and from your evidence. It is that your last antelope died in November 2023. Your exchange with General Sintumule on the 27th of March 2024, that was HKS 12, shows antelopes, what you call antelopes, which everyone else says it's impalas, having died that morning. And in between, there's no explanation when did you get them again. You deny you got them from Mr. Matlala. So the picture that emerges is you are not being truthful when you say beyond November, you say the last died in November 2023 and I never heard them after that, in your statement at least. You're not being truthful. You actually procured them after this and they died. The last one died the morning of the 27th of March, according to your WhatsApp message. Now you can comment.
Like I'm saying, Chair, it is very unfortunate for me that my recollection or memory in terms of now the timelines binds me, and I get caught up between the timelines and the drafting and and having to work out of my memory, and then I put timelines very wrong or maybe in a mixed up situation in such a way that at some point now you begin to appear like you are not being truthful. The disadvantage that I just have is that I'm not like any other person who's operating under normal circumstances, who's in office with all the proper record, with his gadget and everything. So now here am I being regarded as not being truthful when all my gadgets have been taken, and every record that I don't even have any access to anything. So I'm operating from where I'm sitting now. Where I made a mistake of a date, and say, all right, like I indicated that I did ask my driver from home to be the one to assist me, and which we did. Now, that being the case, and the drafting, remember sometimes when you draft is to and fro, but I never had that luxury of toing and froing for a document and saying, no, here I think we missed the following. So if I am at fault for that, it's my apology, but it's not that I'm being evasive or untruthful.
Thank you, General.
General, please read paragraph 44 of your statement, the first sentence. The supplementary statement. Remember the heading of the so-called Impala controversy. The heading is the so-called Impala controversy. So you know you are dealing with Impala, and what you are being asked to address is the issue of Impala. Now read the first sentence of paragraph 44 of your statement.
Paragraph 44, I categorically deny that I acquired or received any Impala from Mr. Matlala, which is the fact.
No, finish the sentence, please.
Oh, he said the first sentence. That's why I was reading the first sentence.
No, but then
No.
you must get to the full stop,
Well,
Chair.
yes.
General, why do you stop at the comma?
Chair, I went to school under a tree. So you said the first sentence, and I just went for the first sentence.
It ends at the full stop, not at the comma. That's my point.
Yeah, I know. I'm one of those who went under a tree at school.
Don't worry about that. Just please read it.
I categorically deny that I acquired or received any Impala from Mr. Matlala or from any other person for that matter.
Now, General, you see, you say you deny that you A, acquired, and then B, received. So you're saying you did not acquire any Impala from Mr. Matlala or any other person. So you even disqualifying your Zimbabwean friend who you say acquired for Impala for you. Because if you say you did not acquire an Impala from any person, then it means you didn't acquire an Impala even from your Zimbabwean friend.
To me, Chair, is where English comes in. Not hiding behind English, just to say from my side, in my mindset, I did not acquire from Mr. Matlala or any other person for that matter, not discounting the fact that what I'm saying from my own angle. I was just saying I did not acquire it from any other person giving to me.
Because you're saying two things here, General. Yeah. You're saying I did not acquire it from Matlala or any other person, and I did not receive it from Mr. Matlala or any other person. Now, what was so difficult for you to say, as at the period referred to, the controversial period, I already had 4 Impala in my property. I did not require any other Impala because I already had it. In your statement, you do not say anywhere that in March 2024, you had Impala in your property.
Chair, I wish you were there when, Commissioner Bali, I wish you were there when we were drafting, and then I could have actually put it that way.
I haven't acquired her surname.
No,
Not yet.
what I'm saying is that the way you put it so nicely, and I wish that this is what I had. Now, unfortunately for me, the mindset sometimes as we draft, I've seen instances where you draft like this, and then another council come and say, but why don't you put it this way? So it's just, to me, a drafting approach from a particular drafter. So I'm just saying, I accept that maybe my wordings may be falling short somewhere, somehow, and or indirectly implying something that I didn't mean to imply.
Because, General, here is the problem. This section of your affidavit addresses the so-called Impala controversy. And you do it in 4 pages, from page 1, 2, 3. 3 pages, it's 4 actually. And nowhere in those 4 pages do you say, in March 2024, I owned Impala and I had them in my property. And that is a problem. Because you're only mentioning it now when you are shown the photos. And I specifically asked you a question. Are those animals that we see there, are they impalas, yes or no? You said they are impalas. But nowhere in your statement do you say, on the 27th of March, I owned impalas and I had them in my property. And you have had General Sentumule's affidavit and the photos since Friday. So you've had the whole weekend to go through it. And at no stage in your affidavit do you say, the animals that are depicted in the annexures to General Sentumule's affidavit, I had them in my property in March 2024. Nowhere do you say that.
You see, Chair, sometimes when you are in a situation that I'm facing where you have to draft something and you craft something, and this thing is to be subjected to intense probing or cross-examination, other things begin to pop out that ask certain questions and that require specific questions or answers, that at that time when you are crafting, you craft and you say, all right, let me keep it short. Let me not go too deep in 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of the questions you may have to respond to, you'll speak to them if asked. But now when you are sitting here and they ask a question and say, yeah, but why did you deliberately choose to ignore 1, 2, 3, 4, or specifically don't mention 1, 2, 3, 4? And obviously sometimes it might be a question of, said, no, don't put too much details. You will respond to it. Now, unfortunately, I'm being asked now, but why did you deliberately choose to omit 1, 2, 3? It does happen, commissioners, and not because of I'm being evasive.
Sure, thanks, General. I think the concern is that what you omit is not something small. The kind of evidence that you're now answering in response to questions are not issues that are peripheral. This section is called Impala controversy. You called it that in your statement. The reason it's a controversy is because it involves acquiring Impala from Mr. Matlala. Isn't that so? That's why it became controversial. I mean, if you had Impalas on your, as part of whatever it is, but not from people you shouldn't be getting gifts from, then it wouldn't be an issue, right? It's a controversy because of Mr. Matlala. Isn't that so?
Yes.
So there's another glaring omission from this section on the Impalas, and that is that you don't address, you've said to Commission now that you notice that Sergeant Nkosi says to you from CAT, and you say that you took distance from it because, well, you said, as we said, 2 things. One is you said you don't want Impala. We've dealt with that now. The second was you took distance from that because you will not accept anything from a service provider, right? That's actually the heart of what this section is about. But you don't deal with it at all in your statement. Why did you not deal with it in the statement and only when it was put to you in questions?
Yes, in a situation like this, it is easy to ask such a question from where I'm sitting because I'm the one who's expected to explain. But if I'm allowed to give a different but similar and relevant example, I don't know if the chair is going to stop me from.
No, I don't know what the chair will say.
No,
but
I understand, but I want to give a similar.
Similar to what?
Example. And this thing, and I wish up until, I'm not going to say a long statement, I'm going to put one statement. If I'm allowed, Chair.
You see, the difficulty is I have no idea what you're going to talk about and to what extent, if at all, it relates to the question being asked.
I want to give a practical example of that it is possible. And not that you are hiding something, but it is doable.
Oh, all right, let's hear it.
When General Mkhwanazi testified here, he never made mention that he ever met Matlala at anywhere, in any way. When General Senona testified here, he says, I went with him there. Then General Mkhwanazi sent a message to Senona and say, you see now your client said is now exposing our meeting and he never said this and this and that. What I'm just trying to say, that omission, at that point in time, maybe it was not necessary for him to say it, but I was just giving a similar type of approach and say, look, it does happen that it's not like my omission was deliberate. Sometimes just never at that point in time.
No, General. The difference is you say in your statement at paragraph 38, you say, over time, the remaining antelope also died, save for one blessed bog, which is still on the plot. That's what you say in your statement. So at that point, you did have the opportunity, because remember the preceding paragraphs, you're talking about escalating costs, you no longer have money, and so you cease dealing in antelopes and emus and blessed bog. That's the background to it. And then you say at 34, over time, the remaining died, save for one blessed bog. And then at a certain stage, it began to display unusual behavior, and then that's when now you introduce Sergeant Nkosi, you account for the exchanges with Sergeant Nkosi. What is being put to you is that, but the way you describe what happens to your animals over time, it's curious at best that you don't mention that when you were left with, as they were dying, you got your friend or your driver to get other animals, which you still had by the time you were communicating with Mr. Nkosi, with Sergeant Nkosi about getting your animals. You don't mention that. In fact, you create the impression, and I think that is a correct impression, that they had all died. And you were left with only one, and in March 2024, you were being offered, we'll call them antelopes because that's the language you are using. You were being offered impalas at that time.
Chair, I may have to revert to my notes as I drafted, as I was writing and sending to my counsel, and then she was drafting. So I just wanted to ascertain whether, didn't I really also indicate that I acquired some in between? Because, like I said, Chair, it was completed late last night to an extent that the other concern was you go to sleep early because you've got a long day tomorrow, and the council also, when I called, she was already sleeping because she's been working hard on this document, and we met in the morning. Some of the greater or finer details could have been really fixed, and I know it's not the problem of the evidence leader nor the commission, but I take the blame, evidence leader.
General, thanks. I just want to say that what I was putting to you was not just the issue of the impalas and the missing information. It was also about not dealing with the Mr. Matlala, because why this is a controversy in the first place. So it's not the finer details that are missing. What you put on record more than once, including in your statement of 16 January, was that you categorically, and you're not tentative about your evidence, you say you categorically deny that you received anything from Mr. Matlala. So you say that in relation to the Impalas, you say that no, it did not involve Mr. Matlala. Then we take you to the messages, and the messages show that in fact the arrangement was through Mr. Matlala, because it says from CAT. So then you say, well, yes, you realized that, and so your way of dealing with it was to say you're not going to accept delivery from a service provider. But then when you're taken to the evidence which shows that there was delivery and that there are Impala on your property, coincidentally, after the date of delivery, as we see from the chats, then you say that the Zimbabwean gardener went and procured it for you. So that's what I am putting to you about the inconsistencies, and that the omissions that you are now filling in as we go along are not just the finer details. They actually goes to the heart of this issue of the Impala controversy. So do you understand where I'm coming from? These are very important facts that were omitted.
You went too long. Can you give me half of what you said so that I respond and go to the next one?
No, it's the whole picture. No. I can't give you half, because and that's why I laid it out from the beginning to say, this is what you said and then you changed. This is what you said and then you changed. So each time when you say, well, no, you didn't put it in your statement, it's an omission, it's a finer detail you could have. I'm saying to you those omissions, whether it's about, the fact that you knew that Mr. Matlala was involved in this, or whether it was about the delivery of the Impalas, that they were on your property, that they died on the 27th of March. All of those things are important facts that you don't deal with, except when you questioned on
One
it.
thing that I've categorically made clear is that I never asked Mr. Nkosi to approach Mr. Matlala. I didn't know who and how was Mr. Nkosi going to assist me in getting such. Secondly, I am categorically denying that I ever received any such delivery from Mr. Matlala's side or from Nkosi's side, because I didn't need them at that time. Now, I'm saying also that I am not saying what I'm saying because I'm being asked questions. I don't want to get or be pushed into a corner of saying, yeah, you knew it comes from Matlala. I had nothing that I've assisted Matlala with, nothing that I worked with him on, and he had no reason to give me anything because I have never assisted him. I don't think he would invest in a dead horse, because having to do with the tenders is supply chain, and I'm far from the supply chain, so I wouldn't be of any value to him. With regard to whatever that was happening in his investigations, it was being handled in the province. So I'm just saying, to me, I had no real-time dealings with Matlala that could lead me to interact in such a way that he can give me something. That's what I wanted to say.
General, let me correct one thing. Mr. Matlala would not have asked for a meeting with you, and he would not have made an effort to meet with you in January 2024 if you had nothing useful to provide to him. The reason you said so yourself, he came to you, is because he sought your assistance or intervention. That's the real reason for the meeting in January 2024. He sought your assistance or intervention. And a month and a half later, there's the issue of Impalas. So you are not correct when you say you had nothing to offer him because issues of tenders were supply chain issues. He came to you in relation to issues of tenders because he thought you could assist him. He was not wasting his time when he came to your office in January 2024?
Can I comment, Commissioner? Now, yes, he came to me with the hope as advised by General Tema and Sintumule that go and see General Sibia, he's the acting national commissioner, maybe he could assist. I saw it coming, that why am I being approached when I'm acting? I signed nothing. And what I did, I never assisted him in any way. All I could say was to say, I heard you, I will take it to the national commissioner.
That's the assistant.
It's not. He didn't get what he wanted. I went to the national commissioner and said, Nascom, I had this visit from this lawyer and Mr. Matlala is complaining about 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the national commissioner says, well, I understand that you say the man has got a lease agreement, but the public works is not going to dictate to us as to how to utilize our building on our premises. That's the feedback I had to give to Mr. Matlala. That was my role.
Thank you. One last thing then we need to go to before we leave Impala's, and that is a recording that was made by witness C when he was questioning Mr. Matlala. You've already listened to these recordings, haven't you?
I listened to it at that time, but yes, okay.
Okay. Can I play it again? Chair, we have a transcript, but I suggest we look at the transcript and we hear the recording, because the transcript in some places leaves an ellipsis, which you can actually hear on the recording. So I think if you have both, it would help. So the transcript of this recording is in file 6. At page 632.
No attempt to forget that. Listen.
It's audio recording E. Page 632.
I'm listening.
Do you have it, page 632?
632.
Yes.
Yes.
So General Male Speaker 2 is witness C, and then Mr. Matlala is named. And this is the transcript, but we will play the recording as well. The transcript is 2 pages long. Can we play the recording?
It's in the wire. It's 3,000 kafan. They are roaming free. It's not like you can leave But feed that makes it's in the wild. So I think maybe
General, I don't know if you were able to, yeah, if you've heard it before, then it would be easier to follow. If you haven't heard it before, then the transcript is better for you to rely on. But the essence of it is what Mr. Matlala is saying is that he gave you Impalas, and then he said they died, all of them. And he said there were about 20 of them. And he says, yeah, at the plot, they died, all of them. So Mr. Matlala here says that he gave you Impalas and that he gave you many Impalas.
I'm very worried about the evidence leader because she selectively chooses portions that she thinks could only address what she wants to achieve. But also deliberately choosing to ignore the fact that Mr. Matlala raised an issue and said, I have a problem with this recording. This is not my voice. It was AI generated. That's the first point. The second point is that when you go down, there are a lot of things that I'm going to tell you that Witness C said, this is where we went. We took money to. There's no that place. This is what we did here. And I have proof of this and that. She did. All I'm just saying is that I want to, if we were to play this thing, I'm not worried about this recording at all because it's such a lie. In all the things Witness C mentioned, I do have plots, bonded, bought more than 4 years ago, all of them. And the plot that I bought is because I was at the city of Joburg. I was working there. I could afford one that was on auction or one that was very cheap. So all I'm saying is that this thing, firstly, even the head of IDEC testified and said the phone was tampered with. Secondly, when you look at the interview, whether the man was under pressure, was being assaulted, or like they used certain relevant portions. So to me, I rejected this video with the contempt it deserves up until I get proven wrong or an expert is called that this voice was not manipulated. It is the man himself. But I don't want this thing to be used against me when I'm going to prove to you in the following lot of them that, in fact, this is not true.
So let me just say to you, General, first of all, this was introduced into evidence by the investigators who were present at the time that the recording was taken. Took place. This has nothing to do with IDAC. IDAC's never raised any objection in relation to these recordings. I can tell you that now. It was introduced into evidence. It was, and it was the testimony of the witnesses who were present. They gave evidence here in this commission. Mr. Matlala may deny that that is a recording for whatever reason he wishes to say this is AI generated. But what I'm putting to you here is what the evidence has been that has been placed before this commission. You may respond to it.
I want to respond to.
But when you respond to it, either you say you're not going to be responding to any of this because of your concerns, and I want to be clear exactly what you're saying, whether you're going to answer questions on it or you're not.
I will answer questions, okay. Chair. I will answer every question I want to. But what I want to raise as well is that the unfortunate part, I don't want to say in this commission, but the unfortunate part is that if I'm being accused of attempting to disband the political killing task team, and it is the same team that is investigating me, it is the same team that is investigating everyone again for attempting to disband us. It is the same team that is also investigating the recommendations that come from the Matlala Commission as were given. The same team, whatever that we raise and say they took money, the same PKTT, they took money from Fort Hare with evidence, and that is not coming anywhere. There's a lot of manipulation. This is not a clean investigation at all. Now, when you question me about an investigation that was conducted by the suspects themselves, that took money from Fort Hare, from accused number 1 in Fort Hare University with evidence investigated by the DPCI. Now I must be questioned about some junior officials who are corrupt themselves, who booked someone from the cells and then started creating some material that must be produced here and be read here. I don't accept it.
General, when you say this is not a clean investigation, what exactly are you referring to? Are you saying we,
No.
as the commission, are not conducting a clean investigation? What are you talking about?
Chair, I'm far from accusing the chair of that part.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the investigation by that witness. All that. Chair, I have high respect for this commission. They are fair. It's not referred to this inquiry.
I just wanted to make sure because the whole of South Africa is listening.
No.
And there may be a lot of misunderstanding around your statement, but I'm happy.
I'm
you've
far
clarified-
from this one,
clarified.
Chair. I'm not accusing the chair of anything
Thank
or the
you,
commissioners
thank
of
you.
anything. I'm
Thank you.
talking about the fact that the investigator, if I am accused of attempting to disband the PKTT, and now they are already conflicted, they cannot be the one now to investigate, to start investigating me now. Now, I can point out a lot of issues where they are involved in the commission of an offense with evidence. Now they are now this I must sit here and them producing a false evidence against me. Now, why I'm saying that? Why I'm saying that, Chair? You evidence that you have to give me a chance. They say Mr. Matlala used to give General Sibia money at his townhouse in Sandton. The townhouse that I sold before I came to the police. I sold it before I came to the police, and the person who bought is a businessman who took occupation immediately. I never had access. They tell you about the money that was collected somewhere in a circle. There's no circle. I've got pictures in my phone, but even if we were to do inspection in local, there's no circle. Number 2. Number 3, the properties that I have, I do, and that one in something, it was an Airbnb. At that time, I was not even going there myself because it was just an investment company. Why, Chair, you'll find me trying very hard to have property 1 or 2 or 3 there. I'm almost 60 years old. I've wasted a lot of time. I still don't have a house because of the difficulties I've been put in. Don't be, I don't want to use the fooled by, misled by the wall they show. Get behind the wall and see what is there. There's no house. Now they show my wall, and the wall I built running because there were some intelligence movements who wanted to kill me immediately after that investigation of Richard Mdul. That's why I had to take the money I was given and to build a wall. But if you are to come inside, there's no house. There is a house, the old house that I found there in that plot. And since I came to the police, what I haven't bought anything else other than what I came up with. Whatever car that I have, I came there driving it into the police. Now, all of a sudden, witness, we did this. No. So I'm just saying, please, this one of witness C is a non-starter.
General, you were being asked, we have a transcript in front of us. We've listened to a recording. What Ms. Hassim was asking is, are you going to, given your position about this all being AI generated and are you going to take any questions arising from the transcript? Or you refuse to take questions because Mr. Matlala has said it's AI generated and your distrust of everybody and their corruption that you have spoken to. It's really a yes, no, I'll take questions and then we take it from there, or you say I won't take questions and we take it from there.
From where I'm sitting, because I have nothing to hide, I'm prepared and I really want to take questions on these issues.
Yes. One issue of clarity. You said Mr. Matlala has said that his voice was AI generated. When and where did Mr. Matlala say this?
At the ad hoc.
Oh, thank you. Perhaps we should take the adjournment at this stage.
Yes,
and
thanks, Chair.
return at 2:10. My commissioners are suggesting 2:15. So let's come back at 2:15.